You know how I always dreamed of a caravan park with a swimming pool and bouncy castles? Well, here it is. You'd be lucky to get a bouncing castle these days, but how about a jumping pillow? I'll accept that. G'day Franzo and welcome to episode 20. Yes, I have been on the road for 4 months and I'm now entering month 5 because today is the 5th of September 2024. I'm currently doing this video in Clare, but let's go back to Barmera. Yes, sunny Barmera, there on the beautiful banks of Lake Bonnie in the Riverland. Barmera, the home of fruit, of pub mills. I decided to take advantage of a rest day in the caravan park there by the lake. I got to do some washing, film editing, just relax because, to be honest, I'd gotten rather jack of the headwinds since I crossed into South Australia. Did I mention the swimming pool? Or for that matter, the jumping pillow? You'd be lucky to get a bouncing castle these days, but how about a jumping pillow? Well, no, I didn't actually get to use them, but it was impressive that they were there. But what did impress me was actually having a grassed area to pitch my bivvy for 2 nights. So it was time to leave the swimming pool and the jumping pillow behind to go to Waikerie, and from Waikerie it was up to Morgan, and from Morgan, putt, slogging against the headwinds to get to the Goyder rest area, and then Burra, and then zoom across to Clare. The Sturt Highway followed the river pretty closely, and so it made for some really interesting scenery, including some stretches where there are really promising looking camping areas. But here they rather kindly thought to provide a walkway along the river. Not even these pigeons did very well in this headwind. As the road left the riverland, gradually the countryside opened up yet again. Despite the headwind, I managed to keep on going when suddenly tragedy struck. I leaned my bike against a tree when by the road I had to pee, and off I went, and just like that, my tyre was down in no time flat. Anyway, what do? Thumbing a ride wasn't happening, so all I could do was pull off the road where it was convenient, unpack my bike, fix the puncture, when this kind local came along to check that I was okay, and unfortunately at that point he only had a small vehicle, but here's what he did for me. He gave me his phone number and said that if I wasn't able to repair the puncture, he would come back with his ute and take me into Waikerie. Well, that's exactly what happened, so thank you very much, Jordan, if you happen to be watching this. But anyway, Waikerie. Land of irrigation pumps. Land of fruit juice. Land of a pretty nice caravan park, while meanwhile also home of C&C Cycles, who not only replaced my inner tubes with thorn-proof ones filled with sealant, but he also had a look at my gear and fixed up the derailleur hanger so that now the gearing works so much better too. So thanks, guys. So the next stop is Morgan. Another hard day against a headwind. Morgan, for me the last town on the River Murray. A good part of a trip like this is some of the nice people that you meet, like Michelle, We enjoyed some conversation and a meal together. Leaving Morgan, it was on to the Goyder Highway to Burra. You wouldn't think it just to look at it, but Google Maps assures us that it is a very long, gradual uphill puff, and my leg muscles tended to agree, and it only got very steep right towards the end as you get to Burra. Oh, and did I mention the headwind? That got stronger as well. Then as the day wore on and it started getting darker, I noticed that the wind began to drop as well, and so I came up with a cunning plan to press on towards Burra however long it took, and this is what it looked like. Not even enough light for me to safely steer by. Moonlight failed me, and so it turned into around about 25-kilometre walk until about 1 o'clock in the morning. Goyder Highway rest area was my bed for the night, and when I got up, yes, the wind picked up even more than before. Well, next morning, the wind had picked up, but the good news was that I started off with a little bit of a downhill run, except that I had to pedal pretty hard to achieve 6 kilometres an hour. Therefore, it was looking like I would have about a 23-kilometre walk that day. And so it was, one foot after the other, onwards and onwards, upwards and upwards. How much further could Burra be? Apparently, quite a lot. At least I did have some of the wildlife to keep me company. I was hoping that this would be the end of the climb, but no, there was more to come, and this cutting was acting like a wind tunnel. But indeed the end did come. I figured out that I must have done about 50 kilometres of walking in the space of that 24 hours, but at last I could enjoy a delicious downhill run into Burra right at the end of the day. From Burra to Clare, the road swings more to the southwest, and so did the headwind. But that was okay. I hopped on my bike and started to ride against this headwind and thought, nah. And so I wound up spending the day in Burra doing some sightseeing. I looked at the old copper mine and the remains of its buildings. The old Anglican church not only had some amazing stained glass windows to admire, but it gave me a place to sit, to think, to pray, and to fall asleep. So it was off again, and this time it was fun. I had a bit of a tailwind this time. The road was flatter, as you can see, and I could quite happily sit on about pushing 20 kilometres an hour without working too hard. True, there was an uphill slog at the end, but let me just share you that lovely downhill run down into Clare.
thank you. The bastards would make me climb the last little bit, wouldn't they?
That's right. Just to encourage you.
So, dear Franzo, here I am at last in Clare, and I do have to say that that stretch from the South Australian border up to here has most definitely been both a physical and a psychological challenge, but here I am at last with the help of God and also with the encouragement of friends that have kept in touch with me over the phone, and let's say for that matter too, the kindness of strangers along the way. So where do we go from here? Well, I'm gradually working my way westwards. A good part of me would like to be able to do the peninsulas, the York Peninsula and the Eyre Peninsula, but I'm going to have to see where we go, because at the end of the day, I don't have indefinite time. If I'm going to do the Nullarbor, I want to be able to do that before we get these disgusting temperatures. So, meanwhile, if you've enjoyed this content, don't forget to do the click, like and subscribe, and definitely share it. And if you want to contribute to the Shout Me a Beer Fund, you can do so by cutting and pasting that description in the link below. It would be much appreciated. As it gets warmer, cycling is going to be even thirstier business. So, thanks for your interest, Franzo, and we'll see you again next time when South Australia continues. Bye, everybody.